I'm Owen Smith. I'm a freshman at the Mount.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm also a freshman.
My name's Kat O'Loughlin. I'm the Assistant Director of Campus Ministry at Mount St. Vincent.
Emily Swartvager. I'm a freshman, and I'm an English-Spanish double major.
John Salamek. I'm the Graduate Assistant of Student Activities, Leadership, and Commuter Life at the College of Mount St. Vincent, and I was also one of the leaders for the Christian Appalachian project.
I'm Jimmy Wilson. I am a senior.
Hi, I'm Serinda. I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Sheila Buenasera. I'm a senior nursing student at College of Mount St. Vincent.
My name is Stephen Quiones. I'm a senior at Mount St. Vincent.
My experience was wonderful volunteering for CAP. I've done a lot of volunteer trips, both as a student and now in my role as assistant director. And I can honestly say CAP was one of my most favorite. I think it was part of the students we brought on the trip who were just hilarious, and also just the genuine community and just the love that CAP really encapsulates within the organization is infectious.
It was life-changing. I learned a lot of new skills that I didn't have before, and it really affects my daily life here in New York, even though it's so different from the Appalachian region of Kentucky. But just being nice to people and the message of always thinking about others really just helps you in your daily life.
Well, I'm from Indiana, so Kentucky's that not so much of a change for me, yet I still found CAP to be a transformative experience. On a practical level, I learned carpentry skills, but on a deeper, more personal level, I've brought back to this city a greater appreciation for time, taking your time and enjoying interpersonal relationships and being mindful of the needs of others, even next door.
There were many different things that I learned about myself and other people.
I loved it. The hours were really long. It was a lot of really hard work, and the driving was insane, but we all had a lot of fun. We sort of became a family, and we were all working to this common goal with everyone else that was there, and there was just this community that was built so quickly that I don't think I could find anywhere else.
Volunteering for CAP was a whole different kind of breed of volunteer work. When I was an undergrad, I did a bunch of work for Habitat for Humanity, both internal and then external into different states, and so it wasn't my first rodeo. I've done stuff like this before, but when I went to CAP, it was completely different. We were with people that we had otherwise never would have met before, and it was awesome because everyone in the groups were so different, but the only thing that really kind of kept us together as a close-knit group was the fact that we were all there for one single reason.
I had a good experience. I was sort of tricked into going at first. It was tricked, but I had a lot of fun because I got to know different people, got to see a different region of the U.S., so it was a good experience.
I had a really good time. I felt at bliss being with people who are so positive and spiritual. I just felt like I really needed that trip because I had a really stressful week prior to that, so I just felt really at peace.
My experience volunteering for CAP was one of the most amazing experiences that someone could ever go on in their life. It's my second time to actually go to CAP and to Kentucky and to volunteer for this service, and it's just an amazing experience, and I would recommend it to anyone in general looking for service or outreach, even for long-term volunteering.
It was definitely an interesting experience, and it was one we were all just thrown into, but considering that barely any of us knew anyone else at the beginning, I'd like to think we're all pretty close now. We had a lot of fun together, we had a lot of laughs, and we had a lot of serious time that I think we all developed a lot personally in. I think we're kind of a solid group. I'm pretty sure if you put us on a roof together, we could all fix it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. When we began the trek to Kentucky, we were all strangers, and now I feel like we're as close as a family. as you can have on campus. Every time I see Owen or Sarinda, I freak out. Oh my God, you guys! Those relationships are perhaps the greatest take back from the experience.
My experience bonding with the group was something that I didn't get on the first trip. Even though the first trip was very good, this trip, the different people, everybody coming from a different atmosphere and a different background of life, it just really, everybody just became like one family. There really is no words to describe the way that we bonded or how everyone on in the whole trip bonded. It was one of the most, it was definitely a blessing through God because everybody was coming from different backgrounds, different problems, and everybody just came together, and it was just one of the most miraculous things that I have ever seen, and it was just, there's no words to really describe it. It was beyond amazing.
It was so much better than I thought. Before we left for the trip, I knew a lot of the students didn't know one another. Some people were very quiet as opposed to how they really are. And so it was just, I think anytime you're in a van for 12 hours with a group of people, you're going to bond because there's nothing else to do. But I was so happy that after the first night, it was like we were a group. It's like we're always a group. It was just so cool to be able to witness that.
Kentucky crew, that's us. Oh, you guys were so much fun. I love being with you guys. I don't know, we just, we got all together, right, for really the first time when we were getting ready to get in the bus and leave. And so, van. The first time I really met you guys was when we were getting into the van to leave. And, I didn't know, I honestly didn't know many of your names until we got to the hotel in Maryland. And I honestly was really worried that I just wasn't going to get to know you guys. And I went to Kat, I was like, I don't know these people. But we were in the car and we were listening to music, and I don't know, we didn't even need an icebreaker. We were just all there together, and we had game night, and now we have inside jokes, and I don't know. It's not something you can easily forget. That sort of bonding experience that we all shared together.
It was amazing getting to know everybody. At first, I was kind of shy, but getting to know everyone's stories and just getting to know them in general was really amazing because everyone's so different, and there's 4 freshmen, 4 seniors, and I had never seen any of the seniors before, well, except Jamie, so it's nice that I built a new family.
So I'm happy I got to know everybody, and we got to bond as a group. It was really fun.
My experience bonding with the group was very interesting. It was interesting because at first, none of us really knew each other, and just in 1 week I felt like I had a whole new group of friends that almost became my family, which was awesome.
For me, I before I went to the trip, I'm always like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm clumsy. And I got a lot of self-confidence, and it helps not only like physical things like fixing roofs or stupid things in the dorm room, but it really helps. Like, you have the confidence to go up to people, you have the confidence to make new friends, you have the confidence to go up to somebody you see struggling or that's really quiet in class and just have a conversation with them and kind of brighten your own day and theirs.
Favorite things about my job and also about doing extended service trips is seeing the growth in students. I think there tends to be a lot of anxieties, a lot of misconceptions about populations we're serving. And so to be able to see students from the beginning of the week who are nervous to meet other students, nervous at the work sites, not sure what they're going to expect, to jumping right in into just saying, we're here, we're going to do it, into bonding with other colleges, to learning more about poverty and inequality and growing spiritually is a huge component of the week. And I think that was, the most rewarding thing for me was to hear stories during reflection and getting to know students on a personal level that you wouldn't know they had this past, or you wouldn't know that's, you know, this small moment during the day really impacted them in certain ways.
For me, the initial experience at CAP was very self-conscious. I was really worried that I'd do something foolish and everyone would laugh at me. I kept asking myself, do I have the skills to be up on this roof? Which was a terrifying experience in itself. So I was very aware of myself and harsh on myself. But by the end, being in a community that's so oriented towards love and acceptance, I was much more comfortable in my own skin, much more forgiving of my own faults and those of others, and I think I've really brought that back with me. Even when dealing with my friends, I feel I'm much more lenient and forgiving of things that normally I would have nitpicked.
Everyone kind of came for a different reason, whether it was they've done it before, whether it was they've done things like it before, or whether they were just kind of tricked into going, more or less. So everyone had a different reason for being on the trip, yet when we left, it was because, and so we kind of throughout the trip understood that no matter why we got onto the trip and why we decided to go, it didn't matter how it happened, it just mattered that we were going just because it was a way to help somebody who was less fortunate than we were. And I think throughout the trip, that was something that we, as a group from the college, unified ourselves under, from getting into the van at the Mount, and then getting into the van to come home in Kentucky.
I'd really wanted to do a service project, out of state a lot earlier. I mean, all of the service projects I've ever done have been, centralized in urban areas and in New York where I am. But, it was a totally different experience. There was a different kind of bond you make with the family that you work with in these homes. And I learned a lot. And I guess I know how to put up vinyl siding now, which is pretty neat. And I guess I just have a new perspective. And I didn't know, and I didn't expect any of that to happen. It was I'm going to go on this trip and I'm going to do some charity work because I think that's important. But it became so much more important after I had finished.
I have seen myself grow in that I have developed a stronger passion into service, into volunteering and helping other people. When I first went, service was very prominent in my life, and it's grown since then. And then even through this last trip, this last past spring break, it even has made me more desirable to want to go on service trips and to always be of need to other people that are less fortunate than yourself.
I saw myself grow from the beginning to the end by realizing that there are a lot of things that I could do that I never realized. I learned how to hammer, screw things into a wall.
From the beginning of the trip, I was just more to myself and just hang out. It was just me and Steven because I knew Steven. And I knew Jamie because we had a class, but it was just always me and Steven because I knew him the longest already. But slowly, I got to know the group.
At first, I had a lot of weight on my shoulders. I was really stressed out. I had preceptor at the time, and I wasn't even supposed to go to the trip because I couldn't fit in a week because I had preceptor. But after that, I think it was really meant to be that I was there. I felt so at peace with myself, and I just felt like that's what I needed.
In the beginning, I didn't really want to go, and I was just doing it because I already signed up, might as well just do it. But during the trip, I had a lot of fun, and I don't know, it was something different, and I felt myself I was growing as a person.
We're coming back home, and it's been a long drive, and we're all getting hungry. And we see a sign for a Pizza Hut coming up the road. And Jamie flips out and says, "Oh my god, you guys, I love Pizza Hut! I'm gonna eat 7 slices!" And just her sheer enthusiasm for that restaurant cracks me up every time I think about it.
It was an awful Pizza Hut.
It was not good at all. It was kind of dirty.
Probably one of the worst Pizza Huts I've ever been.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like out of 5, but still.
West Virginia's a beautiful state, but avoid their Pizza Huts.
Exactly. I think one of my funniest moments of the trip was me and Mikey were in charge of picking up the pizza from the lobby of the hotel. And he said it would take another, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
In that 20 minutes, we managed to go on every floor and steal every Do Not Disturb sign from every single door. And we just collected them. And our plan was, we didn't have a plan at first, but we just developed this plan that we were just going to scatter them under Kat's covers while she was on the bed, and then she'd go to sleep at night and she'd just be covered in Do Not Disturb signs. And she knew something was up, but she didn't know exactly what. And then we just spread them all over. And I'm not sure, it didn't work.
No, it didn't execute properly.
There are so many funny moments. I think when Owen threw the chocolate at Serinda, I've never felt more like a mother, and I never want to feel that way again, having to threaten to pull over the van. It was just so funny. Every night was funny.
The funniest moment in my eyes about the whole trip was, this makes me laugh because it's actually about me, was when I went to CAP my first time. I was going through a lot of personal problems, and this lady named Phyllis, one of the food workers, I became very close with. She actually counseled me. I had lost someone very close to me, and so she actually counseled me through all of this stuff and gave me like books on how to recover from all of this. And then going back my senior year, I saw her that she was there again, and it was just so phenomenal. So I forgot that I was supposed to meet Phyllis one afternoon. We were going to Dairy Queen, and we were halfway down the road to like go to Dairy Queen, and the next thing I remember was, oh my gosh, I had to meet Phyllis to talk to her. And so everyone on the whole van started screaming, Phyllis! Phyllis! And I was crying because I wanted to see Phyllis so badly. So Kat turned the van around, and we all just, they were all screaming, Phyllis! Phyllis! And I was just like, oh my gosh, Phyllis, I'm coming for you! That was the craziest moment.
Well, we had a bit of an argument in the car over song selection, and so Serinda wanted to listen to Wagon Wheel, but Kat wanted to listen to a different version of Wagon Wheel. I think one of them wanted the Old Crow version and the other one wanted Darius Rucker. So we ended up having to listen to that song like 6 times, because every time we listened to the Old Crow version, it was like, no, we have to listen to the other version. And literally every time we were in the car. So then when we got to CAP, they asked us, to do a skit, to introduce ourselves, introduce our school, tell everybody our names, and, do something unique to us. So we reenacted being in the car. And so, Kat and John were in the front, and then we're all in the back, holding onto their shoulders and, rocking back and forth like we're in the car, and Kat's, pretending to drive. And so we're talking about this moment where everybody's fighting over which version of Wagon Wheel we wanted to listen to. And then so I'm working on the site with one of the girls who was with us, and she was like, so are you I'm working on the site with one of the girls who is in our group, and she goes, so which one do you like better? Darius Rucker or Old Crow? And I was like, I can't answer that and not have it come back at me.
There, the road trip, Kat is hilarious. Everybody, John's music, you guys sleeping in the back. Owen, Seren, everybody. It was really fun singing along to every genre of music together.
The funniest moment was when we went hiking as a group, really late at night, couldn't see anything, and we're walking back on this narrow path, and Mikey decides to run ahead of us and hide, and we have no idea where he is, but I know he's hiding somewhere, I don't know where it is, and we started walking past out of nowhere, and I almost peed my pants, but he scared me, but that was probably the funniest moment.
Before we wake up to use the bathroom, right? We had 3 alarm clocks. It was my alarm clock, which never went off. Owen's alarm clock, which was actually a normal cell phone alarm clock, and then Steven's alarm clock. It was basically like something coming out of a farm. It was like, and the first day that it went off, I had to smack him to wake him up to turn it off. Ever since then, I called him Farmer Brown.
So I think probably, I don't want to say hands down because the entire trip was absolutely hilarious. Probably one of the funniest things that happened was we just crossed into, I believe we were like halfway through West Virginia, almost hitting Kentucky, and a lot of us were getting a little silly in the van, and I was in the front seat with Kat, the other leader, and I was controlling the music, and one of the students behind me said to me, whenever I go on long car rides with my friends and we start getting bored, we'll start singing every song as Obama. And he did it, everyone lost it, and then I did it, and then it became a thing from that car ride to every single car ride that we took, to even the car rides that I took with my group. And I did that the first day, and they all thought I was the weirdest person on the face of the planet, but by the end everyone was laughing and like trying to do it along with us. So definitely impersonating Obama, singing songs like What's My Name by Rihanna featuring Drake, and a bunch of other things that just kind of came up. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and it's funny because I still see that student on campus, and we'll speak in that inflection to each other, and and the cool thing about it being hilarious was the fact that it was a way to bridge a bond between myself and another person. And I think that's why it stuck out most for me, just because it was another thing that I could share with somebody else.
The funniest moment from our CAP experience was when Jamie was looking for Phyllis and Owen screamed Phyllis at the top of his lungs in the van. And it was really funny, and it doesn't sound that funny when we're saying it.
I definitely would. I've been thinking about how I can trick Kat into allowing me onto another trip, if not next year, the 2 years after that. I think it's an excellent opportunity to explore a new region and meet new people, and it's amazing to do the service, but it's just it's a life-changing experience, and to go through that again I would be eternally grateful for it.
100% I'd go on another trip. I'm looking forward to the next one whenever it occurs. I think the service that we got to do in Appalachia really complements and completes the formation that Mount St. Vincent tries to bring about in each of its students, developing a whole person mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and civically. I think it's very important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just working in student activities, we do a lot of stuff with campus ministry in general. And both Matt and Kat both know that I'm at their every whim, whatever they need. If they need anything from me, I'll drop whatever it is and, help them to the best of my ability. Because just the message that campus ministry sends in general is such a great message. And I really think students should take advantage of everything that they offer.
I would definitely do another trip. I felt like it was something that I really needed. I really needed to go there. I would like to go back because when you get back home, it was all with the stress when I got back home. So I wish I could go back and just stay there.
Absolutely. I'd love to do more service trips with campus ministry. I love hanging out with Kat, and I love meeting people, and I love helping people. Campus ministry does a really good job of getting kids involved and, having them, experience new things and really find passions within, doing service work. And I think that's a central part of our campus, and that's one of the reasons why I came here, is because we are so heavily involved in service work. And, for someone to come here and then not do service work is sort of like, you've missed out.
Of course I would volunteer again. I mean, even though it was my second time going back, if I wasn't planning on going to Thailand to do a year of service, CAP was actually my second choice to do a year of service there. Volunteering is something that I'm very passionate about, and CAP is a very phenomenal place to be, a very good place to grow spiritually, emotionally. Any kind of way that you could grow, you could do it at CAP. It's like one of the most breathtaking and phenomenal experiences that God touches.
If you ever have the chance to go out and serve a community or a group of people that is less fortunate than you, 100%, don't even think about it. Just do it. I mean, a bunch of the students who went on the trip did that same exact thing. They were like, you know what, this sounds cool, I'm going to do it. Don't worry about the consequences. Don't worry about how you're going to pay for it. Don't worry about you going out of your comfort zone. Just do it, because you're never going to get an experience like that anywhere else unless you go and serve a group of people who is less fortunate than you. In any way, shape, or form. It doesn't even have to be CAP. If CAP isn't your thing, go do something else, because you will get so much out of it. And not only that, but you're gonna help other people. And to be honest, that's, in my opinion, that's like, to have that's the point in life, is to really reach out and help other people who don't have as much as you, or who are not in the same class of opportunity as you. Do it.
Rocky Gap Hotel.
That's exactly.
I'm very sorry.
If you ever have a chance to go to CAP or on any of the service trips that campus ministry offers, I would definitely tell you to take advantage of those. It's only once in a lifetime that you get to go out and do service, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And it's only once in a lifetime that you're in college for 4 years and you have everything at your fingertips. And it's only once in a lifetime that you can be surrounded by other people that might seem so different from you, but yet they are almost exactly the same as you on the same level. And it's only once in your life that you can become as close as you can to a group of individuals that at first were strangers, but now they're like family.
Sign up. If you're nervous, don't be. Everyone, I was nervous when I first signed up, and I realized I got, to go on the trip. I was really nervous because I didn't know anyone, but this trip was a really great bonding trip, and you just learn so much.
I mean, it was a great experience just helping out another family in need, and I've always grew up with helping others.
I said this probably every night in reflection. I said a lot of things, but I think it's just so inspiring to be able to journey with students on these trips. A lot of times working here, I get bogged down in the day-to-day administrative duties or meetings or just the stuff that has to be done right away. And so having a chance to go on these trips and meet new students who I wouldn't have known half of you guys if it wasn't for this trip, really reminds me of why I do the job I do and reminds me of how much I love it. And I would encourage everyone to do one of these trips if you can, or if you're feeling like you want to do one but you're not sure, talk to someone who's been on the trip who wasn't sure and hear how much of a good time they have. Because I can say without a doubt that every person who I've taken on a trip like this would try and convince other people to do it.
You stop faffing about. Do something with your life.
Sincere.
Tall.
Intelligent.
Dress is nice. Dress is really nice. All the time.
Basketball is life.
Oh man, hysterical. Just him and Mikey just stealing everything. It was funny.
When I first met him, I thought he was very serious, but he's actually probably the friendliest person I've ever met in my life. The friendly giant.
He does a great Obama impression. I think he was one of the bigger comic relief people for the group. And it was funny because I knew him for the semesters before, and he always seemed like he was very intense and very business oriented. I mean, he walks around the campus, in a button-down shirt and nice pants every day. So I always thought he was very business and very to the point. But seeing him really show a completely different side of him when we were in Kentucky was mind blowing.
I'm gonna go enthusiastic. I've never seen Mikey look like he's not just walking to the best thing ever.
Oh.
Hilarious.
Best friend.
Sincere.
He's a remarkable person. Very remarkable. He's funny. He's understanding. He's nice, kind. A lot of things together.
Oh, he's another sweet kid. I think he's awesome, honestly.
Mikey.
Spiritual.
Aliens.
I'll go with adaptability just because the kid's from Indiana and he's going to school in New York. So that's just a culture shock right there, but I give the kid the whole lot of credit for that.
Mikey is very... I guess the word that I would describe him with is surprising. Very surprising. I feel like he can adapt to a lot of different surroundings very easily, just from coming from where he's from in Indiana to here is a big change to begin with. And then when he stole all the do not disturb signs. Now see that's something that I would figure somebody else to do. Anybody on the trip other than Mikey, but he was the one who claimed ownership for it. So, but not only that, I found throughout the trip that he has quite the way with words, and he has a very good connection with his religion, and just seeing him in that prime was very very inspiring. Because I've known him before, but I never really saw what he was capable of, and it really surprised me.
Thoughtful.
John Green, is that his name?
Intelligent and very motherly.
Philosopher.
I would go patient.
She's helpful. She kept on holding down the ladder for me so I won't fall, so thank you for that.
She's very intelligent. I think she's very smart. I think she'll be a really good teacher.
Amazing.
Emily was probably the one student that I actually knew before the trip, so I had known what her capabilities were as a student and as a leader. So I think what comes to mind when I think about Emily is just her dedication to the craft. Really, I feel like whenever she's involved in, she puts her whole self into it, and she really committed herself to the mission and the values of CAP. So I definitely think that she was, not that the rest of the group wasn't dedicated, but I think she was most dedicated to the craft.
Funny.
Entertaining.
Okay.
Salamander.
Jokester.
For John, I gotta go with, can I use the same word twice? Enthusiastic.
Rap music. That's one word. Because that one time he played the rap music and he knew the lyrics to everything.
John is very quirky, but he's really fun to be around. Very fun to be around.
Oh, hilarious, because the entire time he was cracking really bad jokes or really funny jokes that always just made me laugh.
John, Hillary, and Bill Clinton. He knows what I'm talking about on that one.
I would say welcoming.
Yeah, I was gonna say Southern hospitality.
Passionate.
Amy, she's very generous. As soon as you met her, you're just a very generous person.
For Jamie, I think what comes to mind is a superlative, most likely to come back to CAP. I just have a feeling that wherever she may be in her life, whatever point maybe there's a low or whatever that she may experience, I think CAP will kind of come back to be something that she wants to do later on, professionally. be one of the assistant leaders, be a crew leader, or just be a long-term volunteer, I can definitely see her coming back because it was her second time and she got so much out of it both times. I think it really became a big part of her life. So I can definitely see her going back and serving CAP more on a professional level.
Oh man, she's so hospitable. It's not even funny.
Texas. Southern.
Crazy. She's very crazy in a good way. Crazy, like, she does, I don't know, she's very enthusiastic. That's a good word. Enthusiastic, not crazy. I say enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Little sister.
Surrender, she's electric. She's just a ball of energy.
She's odd, but in a good way, cause she makes you laugh and it's funny.
Freshman. Love her.
She's tough.
It's just like you said enthusiastic for me, I'd say enthusiastic for Surrender.
Gina.
Cool.
Yeah, Serinda. Serinda's a weirdo. She really is. And I say that in the nicest way possible because so am I. Serinda and myself just got each other. Just from the ride up. Our humor is so similar. And it's very strange to find somebody who has the same humor as me. It's very unsettling because I'm always like, wow, somebody else, nobody finds me funny. And then Serinda's sitting there cracking up at all my terrible, terrible jokes. So, I think if I had to pick somebody who was most like me on the trip, that I, had a good connection with, it was definitely Serinda.
Oh, she's so sweet. She's the nicest person.
Amazing.
Aww. That's my word. It's aw because she went on the trip knowing absolutely nobody. Literally just signed up because she thought it would be cool, and she got so much out of it, and it was just it was so exciting to see that from a student who just was so terrified about all of the work that she had to do with nursing and what she had to do with the graduation coming up and everything. Just from all the talks that we had, it was like she came out of absolutely nowhere, and it was just very heartwarming to see somebody get so much out of it after going into it completely blind.
Oh, I love Sheila. Caring.
Heartfelt.
I would say patient.
Beautiful.
Sheila, she's so genuine. I'm not even playing around.
Sheila, everybody was just, oh, she's very nice. She's a nice person you'll meet.
I remember sword fighting when you guys were in the dollar store. That was hilarious.
Friend.
Brandon was very sleepy. A lot. He slept a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. No, that's not what comes up. That's not what comes to mind with me. Brandon, if there was anybody who I think was most improved, I think it would definitely be Brandon, because just from the talks that we had in our breakout sessions at night, every night, you saw a completely different side of him that you otherwise wouldn't have known unless you were able to go on this trip with him. I think if there was anybody out of the 10 of us who got the most out of the trip, I think it was definitely him.
Strong.
Boxing.
That's actually pretty good.
I hit with the 1-2. 2 punches. We're not children. Come on, let's boom, boom, boom.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Bam bam.
Brandon, just crazy. No, he's a really good friend. He's always there for you, very loyal. But yeah, like I say, he's very crazy.
Funny.
Ball is life.
Sleeping. Every time we were in the van and I looked back, he was sleeping.
Girlfriend.
Quiet and sleepy.
Steven. I feel like this is kind of like twofold for the two of you. But what comes to mind when I think about Steven specifically is when we all waited in the van. Well, not all of us. It was like me, Owen, and Kat for the dollar store, and we had this epic music playing, and all we see is Steven take one of the plastic swords and start hitting Brandon with it. And that was absolutely hilarious because we had the epic music playing in the background, but in reality they were just standing in the dollar store, probably with like some elevator music playing in the background and hitting each other with swords. So I think I think Steven is really really good for, I guess what comes to mind is like breaking the ice, really. I think he had a natural way of, you know, getting somebody to really show their true colors, whether they were guarded about it or whether it just wasn't their thing. I think he was excellent at that.
Steven. He's my brother. I knew him for like God knows how long, since high school. So he's like, we're two halves of one idiot.
Buddy.
Go t-shirts.
Chill.
Montana.
Rap.
Love.
He's very caring. Most caring person you ever meet.
Passionate.
A leader. She's very good at organizing and taking control.
Driving. I love her.
Kat's a leader.
She's a saint. She really is. Just for like being able to drive that entire way and like have no complaints whatsoever.